had a new calling. I was destined to fight crime. No man could escape the justice my meaty clackers could provide. So I bought them a little unitard and found them a tiny cave. Then ran to the city's toughest gang and screamed there's no escape from the wrath of thunder and lightning. Just that fell from an angel's crown. Thunder and lightning. Round your jump, it'll take you down. Stones of war, tiny hammers of Thor. Thunder and lightning. One with the power to electrify, one with the strength to smash. First you hear that rumble, baby, and then you see the flash. My loins are filled like darkened clouds. Evil has no chance. All shall tremble before the storm that gathers in my pants. Turns out being struck by lightning doesn't give you any powers. They caved my head in with a pipe and beat me for several hours. But as I lay there half conscious, with my nuts exposed to air, I looked up to the blackened sky and said an ancient prayer. Lord, if you're there, please infuse my nuts with the power of 1,000 suns.
Holy shit, you're real?
Let there be thunder and lightning. Acorn shot from the tree of life. Thunder and lightning. High voltage nerves lighting up the night. Mighty balls gifted from Odin's house. Thunder and lightning.
Suck 'em!
Are are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to an exciting Saturday stream where today we are hippity hopping into a new and simple game. Something I kind of mentioned during my last stream, because just recently I came across a YouTube video that was talking about why people dig holes, whether it's on the beach, in real life, in video games, anywhere. And during, they mentioned a game that was literally called a game about digging a hole, and well, I couldn't resist checking it out. So today we are gonna hippity hop our asses into a game about digging a hole. We're gonna see what we got here. This may end up being a very, very chill day, or maybe some crazy shit will happen in our hole. Who possibly knows? But before we get into all of that, I have a simple question for all of y'all. How have your weeks been? How are your weekends shaping up to be? And most importantly, how are you all doing today? Hi, Darnaz. And hi, Nez. Sorry to hear. No, are you saying you're hungover or you're still drunk after sleeping? How long were you asleep for, Nez? I don't know if you should be still feeling a little tipsy the next day, even if you didn't eat while drinking. But how you doing, Darness? How goes YouTube chat, my guy? Today, I ended up going to the store and I decided to actually do something I haven't gotten in a bit. And I ended up picking up bread and rotisserie chicken meat and lettuce and provolone. Basically, I got sandwich fixings. And the truth is, I don't really ever make sandwiches for myself. I think it's been like well over a year since I have last played, or since I had last made myself a sandwich, you know. And I think I remember when I first lived alone, I did tend to keep sandwich stuff in my fridge, but I would never get through all of it before shit would go bad, you know. So it'd be like the last few slices of chicken or turkey, the last couple of slices of cheese, or whatever was left at the bottom of the lettuce. All of that would end up being like the last couple would always get moldy or bad before I got to it. And it just got to such a headspace for me that I never ended up buying sandwich stuff again, because I'd always be like, oh, when I buy the sandwich stuff, a lot of it's going to end up just going bad. But today I forgot to take the frozen ground beef I needed, like a pound of it, out of the freezer yesterday. So I had to take it out today, and it's going to be thawing in the fridge for a while. So I got sandwich stuff so I could eat today and tonight. So I'm going to have sandwiches today. I'm a lot of sandwiches today. And I bet they'll be very, very good. Eric, play RV There Yet with me and Red. I'll buy it for you. Now, I literally had an RV There Yet collab on street. All of the shorts on my YouTube channel that have been coming out this month have been from RV There. Have you not been watching any of my shorts lately, Nez? Eric, quick question. What's your genuine review on Ina Dream Barbecue? Talking about it with milk. So I guess number one thing that comes to mind, the absolute, and since we're talking about review, my brain is always going to go to the negative stuff first. And for me, it's just the fact that only one episode has come out. There hasn't really been any updates about it. Obviously, it's supposed to be very episodic or what have you, but even like just within the first episode, the game feels very unfinished. Ultimately, the game is unfinished. That's sort of the nature of how it is. But it's just, it feels like the episodes individually don't 100% stand on their own. It feels like they're very much expecting you to be interacting with a bunch of episodes, to have a bunch of different information that's coming at you that you get to kind of piece together or lay next to each other, you know? So with only one episode out, the game feels like it only has the one episode. Essentially. But if we go beyond that, I love how fucking wild the game is. I love just the out of pocket, everywhere fucking designs they've got going for it. I love how they just embrace the absurdity that they have in the world space they've made. And there's just something about the vibe. It almost like part of the way it's laid out and designed, interestingly, actually reminds me, for example, of like the really like the older collectathon platformer games. Like I'm trying to remember which one because there's been a few, but it reminds me of one of the, for example, SpongeBob platformer collectathon games. I don't remember if it's like, the one that Milk talks about a lot or not. But like when you go back and you play those games, a lot of the maps have this in between state feel to them, essentially, where it's like you can see the path you're supposed to take, you can see you can explore a bit, but looking around the map has this almost half empty feel to it. Like it's not actually empty, but there's this halfway state about it that, like, if you're just approaching a normal game, feels very off. But I think Ina does a great job playing in that space where essentially the world feels off. I think it fully fits with its vibe, and it's doing a great job making use of it. So what I'd say is I love the aesthetic, I love the vibe. At this point, it feels aggressively unfinished, so I think it'd be hard for me to give it a review. It's something where I'd say it's cool to check out, but it feels like a game that needed multiple episodes to really get a vibe for. And I want to compare that to something like Dispatch or fuck, what was the one that blew up after like its first episode and everybody was going crazy? It's the one about the siblings, the horror game about the fucking cannibal siblings. One of you knows what I'm talking about. I need help here. Oh, by the way, hey, Chaotic, how you doing? What, you over in YouTube chat? And congrats on the streak. Oh, now you're in Twitch chat. Were you avoiding the streak? Is that why? Even the creator admitted it won't make sense to later episodes. Yeah, and you really feel that vibe for how long it is in between episodes. There's just something that feels a bit off on that. I needed the Twitch points, understand. If I remember, wait, Coffin. The Coffin of Andy and Lele, I think, was the one that like popped off because they were siblings or something. Right? There was like an alternate ending you could get for it. Anyway, basically, if you look at Dispatch or that or other games like the Walking Dead, get like any Telltale game, also individual episodes have like an immediate grip to them. Like if you play an individual episode, you might not fully understand what's going on, but you get a sense of a complete story. Like even if you aren't at the end, you're more so left with, ooh, I want to see the next part, and not so much I don't get what's going on. Meanwhile, Ina feels very I don't get what's going on. Ina is a game that I don't think is benefiting from its episodic release ultimately. I think it is not benefiting from its episodic release in the same way that other games that tend to do episodic releases sort of benefit from them. If I remember right, episode 1, the creator said, is basically a public game demo since it's their first ever game. Oh yeah, and I'm not saying like how dare you or anything. Obviously, like if it's their first game, if they're building something that's this wild and abstract, it's going to take a lot of time to design. It's just something where I almost hope they don't do episode, because with the absurdism, with the weird off-kilter craziness that they have, I don't know if it's going to benefit from episodic releases in the same way that something like Dispatch absolutely benefited from it. Also, a few days ago, I read through all of Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, and it was better than I thought it would be. I watched the first season of Tokyo Ghoul, I believe, and then I started the second season, and I didn't really get past the first episode of the second season. And then all of this was a long ass time ago. If I remember right, they're going to try to do the Deltarune method of doing 2 episodes at a time. Hell yeah. Good for fucking them. I'm rooting for them. Like I said, I love the vibe and the artistry, and the fact that if this is their first game and they've already got like such an individual aesthetic that they're enjoying nailed down, then I'm 100% rooting for them. I would just say, yeah, I don't know if they should have done it in this episodic manner, essentially. I don't know if a story as abstract as this actually benefits from it. What was Milk's opinion? I mean, I just went off talking about. I didn't even talk about the mechanics of the game. Mechanics are honestly, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel very mechanically deep, right? You're basically, it's like your most basic form of 3D platformer, right? Like, I don't remember even if there were any abilities you had or anything special with traversal. It was basically walking around, right? So I'd say mechanically it's pretty dull, but it's not so much about the mechanics. It's really just about checking out the aesthetic, essentially, and vibing with the characters for the most part. It's more so just kind of being in the space and absorbing the insanity, more so than it is like a mechanically interesting game, you know? They have a web series that Ina is based off of, which is Yellow and Blue Ina, not Red and White Ina, if you didn't know. I knew it was based off something, but I'm not fully familiar with what it is. That's why I'm asking for a review. I'm trying to convince him to play. Oh, he didn't have a review. You're trying to make him play it. Okay, understood, right. I'll leave you to your. I'm not very good at convincing people, I think, to play games. The best I've ever done in getting people to play games is to just show them off on screen. And it seems like a lot of you guys tend to like what I'm showing. Who was it? Who was it last night messaged me fucking like hours after I showed you guys Everything Becomes Crab? Hyper Beam Prog, right? Fucking, what was it? Yeah, like 4 hours or so after my stream about Everything is Crab sends their first victory message out. Oh my god. I don't know. I think what was it? What was it I saw recently? YouTube finally started recommending me Northern Lion videos out of nowhere. No clue what that was. And I ended up clicking on one because I think the title was something I was very like, well, I don't know if I fully agree with the premise, but I'm willing to hear the thought. And it was, and I'll pull it up. I'm not even going to just try to remember it. Let's see here. YouTube history. It was something like roguelikes are dying, or this is what's killing the roguelike genre. And it was Northern Lion talking about like how he feels indie game developers or designers need to stop doing the, 3 choices, re-roll, whatever. And he's doing it while playing Binding of Isaac, I think. And talking about how more games need to do, like, you just get what you get and you move. No, I don't feel like, in my opinion, like anything is killing the roguelike genre. I was really thinking about it recently because there's been so much talk about like AAA studios and indie studios, and there's been a lot of info coming out lately about like gamers' purchasing habits and what have you. And one interesting thing is I don't think roguelike is a genre that can be absorbed by a AAA studio. Cause like what Slay the Spire, right, is what spawned the great the great flood of roguelike into the gaming sphere. And I don't think there's really been any sort of a AAA attempt to make like that style of game. Like there's tons of indie examples that come out all the time, whether they're in the vein of Vampire Survivor or Hades, whether they're like fully out in their own space in the same way like Balatro was, and all of that. But it's just something where like, because we were talking about battle royale games, right? Because PUBG came out initially, and PUBG at most you would call double A, but I don't even know if that would be truly accurate. But then after PUBG popped off, you had fucking Fortnite came out, you had Apex Legends, you had a few other games that came out sort of copying that style or mixing in things that came out of like the triple A sphere, you know? Double triple A essentially. But I don't think, and I don't know if it's just because roguelike games tend to live in the strategy or strategy adjacent, you know, sphere. Because those guys, like, it's very hard, I think, for a AAA studio to ever even try to commit itself to truly like strategy oriented games or things like that. So it's something where I feel like the roguelike genre just lives entirely in the indie vein. And I don't feel like it's been slowing down. I don't feel like anything's been killing it. I feel like we're still getting good roguelikes. I think you can definitely say, you know, there's a lot of very mid roguelikes that come out in between the good ones, but there's still good, interesting, and crazy ideas coming out of the vein. So I don't know. I don't really feel like that, like setting that standard of like the pick three and re-rolls and all that is really doing anything to harm the genre. Now, I'll say it's definitely uncreative to go that way. In fact, my opinion would be I'd like more roguelikes to go away from the, hey, here's our path you follow from your starting point up to the final boss. Pick your different branch and routes, and look, this one's a fight, this one's an event, this one's a shop. Which direction? I find the map navigation that a lot of the roguelikes have been including to be very uninspired. Almost all of it is basically still ripping exactly what Slay the Spire had when it came out. When the fuck did Slay Spire release date? 2017. It's over 9 years old at this point. Uh-oh. Yeah, so it's been like 9 years, and while, you know, the idea of having a few options and rerolls and things like that is stuck around, that's something that's had a little bit of refinement and shift around that I've seen on it. Meanwhile, games that make use of like a pathing system almost all seem to be ripping Slay the Spire pretty much exactly. There was one game I played that I thought did a really interesting version of it, actually. What was it? Knock on the Coffin Lid. If none of you have played Knock on the Coffin Lid, that is a very shockingly deep. That one will sneak up on you on how complicated the game actually is. But Knock on the Coffin Lid is actually a pretty interesting one because it starts in a very similar way, but it sort of mixes in a Groundhog's Day idea. When you die, it is your character with their memories starting over. So when you take a route, it's always the same route. And if you make the same decisions, the same series of events will happen. And if you make different decisions, you can change them. And some events change after the first time you've seen them, because after you've seen them, your character can make smarter decisions about what to do, essentially. So this one was very interesting the way it did its routing. It is a fucking deep game. This game sneaks up on you on how much depth it has to it. It is terrifying. When you approach it, you really think it's just a normal, you know, roguelike builder sort of game. And then it's just like, hey, it's got a lot. It's got a lot going on in it. Let's see. Oh yeah, I recently started watching a show my dad recommended to me a while ago called Boston Legal. Highly recommend. It's funny and a good witty show. Haven't heard of that. Hollow Cure is the only one I've played. Still fun. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a solid genre. I think when it comes to genres, I think like this roguelike, whether it's the deck builder or the action roguelike, both of them, I think they're here to stay. I think they'll be a solid example of one of these games coming out essentially constantly. I think they've got like the same level of sticking power as like what's a genre like I guess almost like clicker games. Like there might be bad ones out there or it might not be your chosen genre, but it's just like a genre that I don't know is ever going to go away or slow down or die, you know? It's just something where I think it's just such a solid, stable genre. It's got a lot you can follow, but then leave you to really express yourself. And the fact that it's exclusively right now being used in the indie space, I think means you're always going to be getting people with like creative ideas or things that are interesting that they want to do, playing with the like idea of it. Ultimately, my opinion, I don't think roguelikes are dying in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like having the very stable set stereotype of the game helps people who have an interesting spin they want to do to the genre really just follow the recipe and then throw their secret ingredient in without a lot of fear. And I think that's actually very helpful to the genre. I think when you have a genre where you can follow the recipe and then throw your spin on it, I think you end up getting a lot of creative ideas mixed in there. You get a lot of duds. You get a lot of very dull duds mixed in as well. But you also get some miraculously beautiful creations, in my opinion. And even the duds will almost always have something absolutely terrifyingly confusing added on. I think it's part of the reason I play so many of them. I do play a lot of them for you guys, don't I? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Hi, John Connors. How you doing? I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a Twitch viewer. All I got's your YouTube name, and YouTube names always have a drastically different vibe than Twitch names do. But hi, my name's Eric. Yes, that one. I'm a pudgy little tardigrade who likes to play video games. And today I'm yapping for way too long about roguelike games. And after that, we're gonna be hippity hopping our asses into a nice, simple game called A Game About Digging a Hole. Entirely because I watched a YouTube video recently. How are you doing, my guy? How's your fucking weekend shaping up? Well then, let's get going, y'all. Wait, no, is there a mystery? No, I'm just supposed to be digging a hole. Please. Please. If this turns into a supernatural mystery, I'm gonna be so confused. God, I just wanted to dig a tunnel. Nonsense. I love my just talking stream that is 30 minutes of gameplay. Fuck you, I've never done that. The worst I've ever done on Yap is an hour of Yap, and that's the worst I've done. Hi, John. Sorry to do this, but I'm wondering if we could meet on Mondays and Thursdays this semester instead of Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, that's... What's happening? John, are you okay? John? John? I'm sorry, everybody. YouTube chat has me fucking terrified. I think there's a bot having a meltdown or something. I think he may be a bot. I hope he's a bot. Where I'm living, where I'm at right now, darn it, I hope that's a bot. Because if that's not a bot, that's fucking terrifying. Alright, that is the same message again. Alright, buddy. Alright, okay, let's go ahead and put user in timeout. We'll see what that does. Never had to moderate YouTube chat before. So few of you hang out there. Alright. So where are we? So we are in a game about digging a hole. Hell yeah. So what do we got? We got a health bar. Okay, that's ominous. We have a battery. Cool. We have backpack with 3 total inventory. We have a sprint. Strange that we can sprint when we're digging a hole. I love that Twitch chat has no idea about the schizophrenic ramblings. Yeah, it scares me. We have $0. We have 1M? 2M. Oh, is that our height? 0. And then we'll go negative, probably. Okay. So what do we got? So we got a shovel. It's not dig. Oh, wait, am I removing the grass? Hey. Oh. And once there's no grass, we can... Oh. Hey, look at us. We're digging a hole. Should I follow the X? Should I go to a corner? Do I follow a wall? Oh, stone. Stone. All right, we're ripping up the stones. Let's get digging. Oh, there's another stone. Do I want stone? Inventory full. So do I empty inventory? All right, hammer, yes. Shovel, $5. Inventory, $6. Battery, $6. Jetpack, $6. Oh, lamp. Lamps cannot be picked up once placed. Okay, dynamite. Health and battery. Okay, and I need money for that. What's it? Save game. Oh, save. You should dig in a quarry style. What is a quarry style, darn ass? Oh, stones, 3 times $3. Sell. Oh yeah, and I need $5 to upgrade my shovel. Okay, so we need just 2 stones, then we'll run back immediately so we can get a better shovel. Is my blue bar battery? Wait, my shovel is battery powered? Cringe. Battery low. Okay, so I'm gonna have to recharge. And what, recharge costs $1? At least it's cheap. Well, this is gonna be an incremental game, right? So as I get deeper and deeper, we'll get more and more valuable minerals. Right now, it kind of sucks. There's a rock is worth $1. God, they're getting up to $5. So we need to find 5 rocks plus an extra rock for every full charge 2. Oh, it was only charge 1 because of how much I was missing. Wait, that was half of the money I've earned already? Uh-oh. Okay. Wait, can I get in a no-win state? Wait, what happens if I run out of battery and I don't find any rocks? Hey, Chad, do you want me to try and soft lock the game? Do we want to find out what happens if you run out of battery and money? Inventory full. Oh, we can get a shovel upgrade. Wait, right? 3 rocks plus $2 is going to be 5. Yes! Shovel. We have bigger shovel. Let's go. Holocure is the only one I've played. Oh, no, I already read that. What did you think of Holocure? I think that's one of the like action roguelikes that people have talked about here that I've never played. From what I could see on the cover, I just didn't think like it did anything like super unique compared to some of the others. Beyond it being Hololive characters. So I didn't know if I... Oh! You ran out of energy. Oh. You lose your ores? Wait, I also lost health? New material, coal. Alright. So if we run out of battery, we lose... what, 90% of our health? We lose all the ores we have on our inventory. And we get a tiny bit of charge back? Alright, don't run out of battery. Oh, this game. Hi, V. Have you played a game about digging a hole? I have not played this game. I watched a YouTube video recently that was talking about video games where you dig holes. And they mentioned this one, and it was enough of a vibe that I thought it'd make a fun stream day, where it would let me both game and yap at the same time. Plus, it reminded me a bit about how I've talked about how cleaning games sort of hit on something from a game design book I read by Jane McGonigal. I've talked about it on stream before, but it's just like the concept of having immediate and obvious progression is a very important part for a game to feel good, you know? And cleaning games just sort of inherently have that built into them. And in this YouTube video, the person was basically talking and mentioned that concept as well, and how, like, digging games get that. And it was just something where, like, hey, that's kind of like both games get sort of, or at least both genres of games, cleaning games and digging games, are just built very heavily into that sort of realm of immediate, obvious feedback and progression. Dig up the entire plot surface before moving to the next inch and then continue. I don't know. I think I like a little bit of a Junji Ito, exactly human-sized hole into the depths. I feel like that meets my vibe a little stronger. I think we're gonna just, until I get my health all the way back, we'll probably be splitting the cash we have. So the next shovel upgrade is $30. I feel like battery upgrade would be really, really good. We could upgrade our inventory, but that just lets us dig, what, longer without having to come back? But if we dig around the materials, then we could still dig for quite a while, right? Yeah, so like we have a full inventory now, so if I just dig around these materials I'm finding... Battery low. Let's go charge. I have not, but I've seen a couple of people play it. Really? I have to know, because when we started this game, I had a sneaking suspicion based on the fact that it had a framing device. There isn't some supernatural mystery I'm going to discover in this game, right? This isn't like it looks like a simple digging game, and then fucking dinosaurs or aliens start showing up once I get deep enough. There we go. Fully healed, fully charged. Let's get deep. Well, we want $6 to upgrade the battery again to help avoid the losing charge. Okay, I'm starting to see where upgrading the inventory might be nice. But we're going to do battery. I still feel like I can dig around it. That is a possibility. God damn it. You've got to go dig those holes. Digging up holes. Digging up holes. Doing a very bad job digging around these materials. Am I at the point where I need to start thinking? Yeah, just about. I could still jump directly out of the hole, but we are at the point where it's a little finagly to do that. So how do I want to approach this? We could do the ramp, we could do a spiral, we could do platform by platform, we could do a basic staircase. I don't know, what do you guys think? Z-Legs! How you doing, Z-Legs? And I hope you enjoy your streaking, V. How your guys' weekend's going? And welcome, welcome. Everyone's a little late today. Everyone's a little bit later than usual today. I hope that means y'all are having good fucking weekends. You know, I kind of like the idea of like a depth spiral, right? Then again, a strip mine is always what I do in, like, Minecraft. Like, the idea of getting deep enough and then you just start digging, like, perfectly parallel tunnels in all directions. But maybe for getting down to that depth, we could go for a bit of the spiral build. Right, we want to be careful, but we do get a warning of critical battery. So we'll keep going until we hit critical, I think. There we go. Alright, let's go sell what we got. Went to the hobby store and spent a little too much money on gunpla. Any really good ones you get? And are we going to see them? I know you sometimes share your fucking models on the Discord, and that's always cool as hell. So I'm wondering, you gonna share what you got? It was out at Costco, and I forgot how packed it gets at the weekends. Ooh. Costco's big for week. Well, I guess, yeah, it's bulk, so you really only go... Yeah, I guess you do probably plan to go to Costco more so than just, like, doing a normal grocery run. Because of how bulk-oriented they are. There we go. When it comes to Minecraft, I love making an open pit mine. Nah, I like labyrinthian. I like to like do a staircase down, and then you do one long tunnel, and then it's like every 4 or so blocks you do like a complete horizontal tunnel, and you just keep doing that until you end up with like a floor that's a massive grid. Then you go back to your staircase, and you do another staircase down. And it's just like this idea of this descending staircase where every like few steps down, there's just this massive like open labyrinth essentially. I just love the vibe. I just love the vibe. Yeah. Dang it. We get it? We need it even taller? How tall is our character? This hole right here should be more than big enough for us to crawl into. Also, that fucking startled me recently is that I've been going on Twitter much, so I was going through the latest of Junie's shorts, as I've been unable to watch her streams lately. And all I hear as I'm going through them is her ASMR short, and I was fucking took aback. She did ASMR, that's right. I'm not gonna watch those. I'm gonna do my own ASMR videos once. I imagine she made smarter choices than I did, but... Oh. New material. I wonder if it's worth a lot of money. Alright, what do we have? 24. Okay, so if we charge and we go back, we might be able to get a... Like, I could get the jetpack, but I feel like I don't need it. Yeah, I don't know if a jetpack is gonna... The fact they have the jetpack at $6 is fucking crazy, in my opinion. Like, unless we start hitting some fucking caverns, right? Like some massive fucking caverns that we have to navigate that we could just, like, punch into? Does not seem like we're gonna need a jetpack to manage our own digging. God, I want to get that shovel upgrade. I feel like the next shovel upgrade will feel huge. Okay, the open pit mine, so if you're not paying attention, you'll fall down an open chunk of bedrock, all the way to bedrock. God damn. I need a charge. Ooh, inventory full. Perfect time. Some 30-minute mission stuff and a full armor unicorn Gundam? Fucking get it, dude. Fucking get your iron unicorn. Alright, well, I kind of want to see. That's not as huge as I was hoping for. We'll see how it feels, though. Oh, that's... Okay, never mind. Huge. Fucking huge. Can I crouch? I can't crouch. Damn. I want to get on my hands and knees and shimmy through these like I'm a goddamn spelunker determined to die. There we go. How we doing with our hole? Our hole is... I don't know. I don't know how it is. It's certainly there. Let's gather up what we've got. Hell yeah. Oops. How much was dynamite? Dynamite was 100, right? Here's the thing. Do I bother upgrading the battery in the inventory? Because honestly, part of me, with how slow the digging's going, and the fact that the trips aren't bad, part of me is wondering about just saving up to 100. Basically doing whatever we can just to rush the shovel, essentially. Because, like, I don't think we're at the point where we really, like, we're actually losing that much by doing the trips up to drop off items. Like, we're not really running out of battery unexpected. Like, our current size of battery and backpack are essentially in a line with each other, more so than anything else. So we're never at the point where we're running out of battery and still have inventory space left. That would inspire us to really try to commit even harder. And we're not so deep that we actually lose time by coming up. Feel like I just want to do the shovel upgrades. And also, just upgrading the shovel, although we still, like, run out of battery just as quickly, our battery ends up being just more efficient, you know? Because of every use of the battery, we get more dug out, essentially. So yeah, I think I'm at least going to take this to 100. Though, I don't know. Did it look like we were... Once we get that 100, we're, like, past the shovel's halfway point already. Obviously, the price goes up exponentially, but... tick, 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 ticking all the way. So, I was actually invited to come as a guest onto a thing recently. I imagine you guys will not be too surprised because I know she's been posting like anniversary announcement stuff. But Gwen is going to be having an anniversary stream coming up here. And I apparently made a huge mistake by jokingly calling it her birthday. If you guys want to know, we were messaging and she was like, hey, would you want to pop in and say anything on my anniversary? And let me see if I can find the message. Yeah, would you like a call in on my stream this Monday and be part of my 1 year stream? I'm like, fuck yeah. I saw your post. What you planning? You doing a subathon thing or whatever? I'm like, gotcha. Then yeah, I'd be down. If you want me to just come in and give you a quick happy birthday call, or if you want to do a segment of some kind. She's like, birthday? Nah, it's just a major milestone crossed. I worked for it. It wasn't a birthright or anything. And it was, she used the word birthright. And I was like, I didn't mean anything by calling it I just know a lot of people, you know, sort of think of it like, you know, their stream character's birthday, essentially, you know? So I call it a birthday, but apparently that was the wrong terminology to use. And I don't know what to respond to that. There's just something about the term birthright coming up that I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. That feels like there's some subtext here I'm missing. I'm feeling autistic reading this message. I'm having the classic social confusion crash out of I don't know what the underlying meaning to this is. I should convince her to do a tier list segment when I'm on. You know, something like what are the hottest fucking Elden Ring characters? Oh no, what do you guys think would be a good birthday segment with I'm sorry, an anniversary segment for me to try to do to Gwen? I can try to unleash all of my skills to convince her to do something. So if you've got something you think that would be the right vibe for us, I'd be very down to hear suggestions. Like I said, my instinct was something like a tier list, but that's just sort of like a classic, you know, pretty low effort fucking event day thing to do. I don't know what we really... It's almost anything I've done with her has been collab stuff. Well, she's the ghost girl, so she's probably into supernatural things. Tier list of supernatural monsters? Well, at some point, no, I can't do that. If I start doing that, I'm just going to start going over the Brian David Gilbert list from Castlevania. Alright, I think that should be enough. I think with those materials, we'll be able to get the next shovel upgrade. We'll see how big this digger is. Charge. Shovel! Yes, that's about the halfway point. Obviously, it goes all the way up to 3. Oh, wait, our shovel became flat-edged. Physical change. Let's go. Well, that's a little better. I shouldn't do it on the surface. I can never quite tell the difference when I'm on the surface. What do you guys think? Is it time for me to do an inventory upgrade? Yeah, I think it's time for us to do an inventory upgrade. We're definitely starting to run into the, oh, that's a lot of materials. Pastime? Oh, well, if you're gonna say it like that... If you're gonna say it like that, Celix, maybe I'll just push to the next shovel. You can't stop me. Yeah. Get all this, bring it back. You coming at me, Zelix? You trying to make fun of me? Yeah, into the mines. So what is our inventory up to? 12? Yeah, we could probably go pretty far then. Back in the hole, back into the hole. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Alright, back at inventory full. Part of me really wants to save up for the first dynamite. I feel like seeing what the first dynamite does would be really, really good. Bad you're not some kind of bug that digs holes. You know, I'm a bug that digs through moss, unfortunately. Do I know any digging bugs? I know a moth. I know 2 moths. I know a bionicle. I know a centipede. Do centipedes dig holes? They're not one of those creatures that just goes into other things' holes, are they? Wait, phrasing. Alright. I hear a vacuum. Alright, inventory's full. We are... if I go all the way in the corner, we can finally get to a point where we don't see daylight. Hell yeah. We're doing a great job spiraling, I think. I think that's doing a nice natural curl. I don't know if I'm really getting the right descent. I feel like I could be doing it a bit sharper. Yeah, I could definitely be doing a much sharper descent than what I'm doing. But I feel like it's going pretty good. The fact that we finally curled around out of daylight is awesome. Maybe. Then again, if we're gonna need lanterns at some point, there is an argument that someone made that I should do a strip mine. That might start to become more relevant, essentially. Because if you're doing a strip mine, you don't need lanterns, obviously. Because you're fully exposed to sunlight at all times. So there's something to be said, yeah, and we decided to reorient away from a focus mine to a strip mine to save on lantern costs. That is hilarious. Oh god, I wish I remember where I saw this. But I saw a video a while ago where someone was talking about the canaries that people brought into coal mines. And they showed that after like years of doing canaries in coal mines, eventually they made a little spacesuit. Basically, they've made a thing where there was an oxygen tank that they could connect to the canary storage thing. So if the canaries started seeming to be sick, they could just pump oxygen in with the canary to keep the canary from dying. And it was a thing where it's like the oxygen tank was more expensive than a canary. So they weren't saving any money by not letting the canary die. The people just started feeling so bad that they kept having to get these canaries killed. So they made an entire canary spacesuit, and it was beautiful, and I love it. Oh. Y'all. We get caverns. Let's go. Isn't the canary dying instead of people the entire point of it being there? Well, it's more so to let you know that there is a gas leak. But basically, the canaries would start behaving sick before they die, you know, like a person. So they would take the canary behaving bad. Oh, is that the wall? Wait. I think I made it to the wall. Goddamn. So they would still be like, oh, the canary's sick. We gotta get out. But then they would pump oxygen into the thing that they had the canary into, so the canary wouldn't die. All right, wait, can I get out though? Maybe I should have been more careful before I jumped in this. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. Oh, that's not good. Battery low, not good. Gotta craft a ramp real quick. Okay. A little bit of headroom. Yeah. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh. Hey. Alright, we were able to clear that. We're going to recharge. We're going to work on actually making that a real ramp, and then we'll go explore the caverns. It's good. Recharge. Let's go see what we got. No, first ramp. Because I'm going to come back after exploring. I'm going to have no battery. I'm going to get here and be like, ah, shit. Okay, so what's happening? I feel like this is... There we go. Yeah, I think if we just dig all that back. Oh, all right. We're almost, I think we almost have an easy ascent. Yeah. Just dig back the roof a little bit, give ourselves some more headspace. There we go. Right, that was pretty easy. Up's pretty easy. Yeah, okay. I think we got a good spot. Cool. Which means explore. Okay, yeah, that does get dark. Oh, is this another drop point? Alright. I think I'm gonna drop in because there's a new material I'm seeing. Silver! Alright. Copper. Oh, silver and copper. Okay, battery low, but I think I'll be able to jump out. Yeah, headspace I think is the number one, ironically headspace more so than footing is like the number one thing. Alright. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. No, please. Oh my god. Alright, I think we're out. I think we're out. We're out. Hell yeah. So it wasn't actually a very deep cavern there, not very wide, but it had a couple of new materials, and we'll see how we do on catch. Silver, 20 per silver. Okay. Let's charge up. Do I do inventory? I think I do inventory. You know what? Let's get our first lamp. Alright, so how does lamp work? F. Okay. So we'll try installing a lamp in that cavern. And we're going to dig around in that cavern. We might, like, widen and strip out this area, essentially. Because silver seems crazy good. Being 20 per is so fucking solid. Only finding copper. God dang. I didn't clear out a lot of the silver when I first came in, to be fair, but we'll find more. We'll find more. We're now on the eco runs, because we want to get up to our next level of shovel. Yeah. Do I need the jetpack? I was making fun of the jetpack real early. I'm starting to think like I might need the jetpack. All right, let's get in. Let's sell copper. Isn't as good, but it's still pretty solid, right? Yeah, all right. We'll do that. We'll do what? In one more run, we should have more than enough money then saved up to actually upgrade our shovel. Even if we only get copper, yeah, even if we don't find any silver, I feel like one more run will be enough for our next shovel. Then we can decide how we want to dig. Like, if I want to start spiraling again, or if we want to do horizontal tunnels now. Start just looking for the silver, get a bunch of upgrades, then we can look at going down again. But it's always going to be better materials down, right? So isn't it always most efficient to keep going down instead of trying to strip out any particular level until you get to the bottom? I don't know. We are making some silver. Silver's good. We'll think. We'll think on the best way to approach this. There we go. And we've got upgrade. Wait. Upgrade to drill? Dynamite? Alright, well, I'm getting a stick of dynamite. We're gonna see. Alright, do we take the dynamite all the way down, or do we want to see what the dynamite does to the surface? I feel like we should take the dynamite all the way down. Toss it in there. Hold that. Well, I didn't hardly do nothing. What? Oh, oh. Key? Okay, I guess there's treasure down here. And do we have a key? Right, do we sell the key? Hold on. I'll take this back up. Listen, I know I have inventory space and what have you, but we just got our first key. I want to see if we actually have an interaction with the key, like, on the surface, or if it's something where we need to find a treasure chest down here. Ooh. Wait, if you can miss treasure chests and keys, maybe you have to... Oh no, it's like this. So we won't miss the treasure chest, but we can maybe miss keys? So do you have to strip mine? Ooh, strip mining is sounding more and more important, y'all. Because if, like, there's missable materials... Like, because obviously we didn't know about that item until I was, like, running around and we dug into here. So it is possible to just not be close enough to something to, like, miss. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Well, I'm gonna be nervous now. I'm gonna be nervous. Looks like we only need one more key, though. Then we'll see what's in that box. And also, the text on our shovel upgrade changed. After the last upgrade, it no longer says upgrade shovel. It says upgrade to drill. So it seems like our next big shovel upgrade might be a bit of a break point. So I might be kind of inspired to skip battery and inventory upgrades again, unless you guys are gonna yell at me. If y'all feel like you'd be upset with me, then I cannot do that. But part of me is like, well, if there's a break point, we gotta go for the break point, right? I gotta see, because, like, the drill's gotta be insanely efficient, right? Unless it's something where the drill doesn't work well if you don't have enough battery. It's like, what if the drill just, like, increases our shovel's, like, energy usage massively? That is possible. We'll see. We'll definitely see. But I won't know that until I get the upgrade, y'all. So really, if you think about it, we gotta get the upgrades so we can learn what we need. Right? Maybe? We'll see. Aw, man. Alright, Back to the grind. Well, now, V, you've got me nervous, though, because you mentioned that it's very possible this game's got mysteries in it. And now I'm wondering, because I was hoping when I first got the key and I saw that chest in our place, I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be a big upgrade. But now I'm wondering if it's not going to be an upgrade. Now I'm wondering if that's going to be like story progression or something. Like, are we going to find a murder weapon in that chest? God, I'm now trying to imagine like a Blueprints level game. Like, what if you had a game like as deep as Blueprints, like in mysteries and puzzles and solving what have you, but was like one of these incremental digging a hole games? We're at the next wall. Means we gotta turn. Also, is the Blueprint studio working on anything? Because they popped off with that game, right? Was that their first big release? I'm gonna look that up, actually. Because Blueprint's kind of crazy as far as games go. Let's see. And oh wait, did I just get a ping? Hold up, is Gwen live? 1 second, y'all. Gwen just asked me an Among Us question. I'm wondering if she's live. Guinevere Gloom, Twitch, live. Girl, do you not know how to swap maps? Hit the edit game settings button. God damn it, Gwen. Game setting. Okay. Yes. Maps! God damn it, Gwen. Jesus. God damn it. I was streaming, girl. What the fuck? Oh my god. Yeah, okay. So Gwen, in spite of playing Among Us with me fucking last weekend, apparently forgot how any of the settings work. Just DM'd me on fucking Discord asking me how to change the map. Didn't realize I was live and stream. God damn it, Gwen. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save up. I think I'm gonna save up all the way to 600. I want to see what this drill is. Into the hole. There we go. I do like the spiral. I feel like I'm enjoying the spiral method. Gets us moving, gets us deep. Something aesthetic about it. It feels like almost natural in a way. Like, not actually natural, but there's something about like the spiral. Like if we go back to where I dug down into this cavern, there's just something about the feel of it where it's like obviously not a natural thing, but there's something about like the fucking shape that it feels like it's human shaped in a way, you know? It's very much like shaped in the way that a human would make something, essentially. Like, it's not all fucking sharp corners, right angles, and what have you. No, what is it? I remember a long time ago, when I was learning in a science class, we were learning about beavers. We were learning about, like, their innate response to the sound of running water. And it raises a question where, like, since beavers have, like, an innate sort of instinct to stop the sound of running water, like something they don't even realize, there's like a question if humans, for example, have any sort of innate building like instinct and the way that like guys on a beach will always dig a hole or something. The fact that like humanity is so oriented around the construction of changing their environment in a lot of different ways. Like there's gotta be a question of whether we have something to the same way that like beavers have, like, without being specifically taught, just that drive to build dams, you know? Whether humans have a build drive of any specific style. It'd be really cool to learn if there was, like, something humans just sort of innately knew how to build, you know? What if it turns out humans have an instinct for digging tunnels like caves to live in? So we do quite literally instinctually yearn for mines. That would be exciting to learn. It would be exciting to learn that humans actually yearn for the mines. To be fair, I don't know how much humans actually lived in... That's not the wall. I thought that was the wall. That's a hole. Uh-oh. Oh, is that a big hole? We're gonna have to figure out a way to slope this. I think we'll have to come this way. Like, inventory's full, but we got a lot of battery space, so I think I'm just gonna work on trying to build a slope here so we can get down to this. And a lot of this I don't think is too valuable, right? We'll avoid breaking any silver, but I think we'll be good to break some stuff. Alright, battery low. I'll head back and recharge, I think, before we try to jump down. Yeah, we're not quite down there yet. Alright, so we'll go recharge. We'll grab another couple of lamps. We'll come back down and we'll see if we can get into that cavern proper. It could also be hats. I think a lot of great apes make hats. Who's that? Oh, best viewers. Understood. Ignore the bot, y'all. Ignore the bots. Do. 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 Definitely get the silver. Oh God, wow. Inventory already full. I probably should upgrade my inventory at some point. Oh. What? What the fuck? I'm sorry, what was that? Because that was because we did have a like a metal detector pop up at one point, but oh, is that telling me down? How many different sensors do we have? Well, obviously, he wants me to go in the hole. Is it time to get the jetpack? Do we sell up what we have, recharge, buy a jetpack, and drop into that hole? Well, let's get the jetpack. We'll see how good the jetpack is. Because, like, if the jetpack is extremely short, then going down that hole could be a one-way trip, even with the jetpack. Let's sell what we got. Okay. So how do I... Ooh, jetpack takes battery. Understood. We'll recharge, but I think that'll be good enough for a quick explore. We'll go down and we won't dig anything so that we save battery just for the jetpack so we can see what's in there. I got lamps. Yeah, I got 2 lamps with me. Oh. And it's up. Alright, well, I guess we didn't need the jetpack. It seemed like it was reacting to this way, and it's saying down, but I think it's only slightly down. Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah, it's definitely this way. This way and down. So let's figure out where this is trying to take us. Is it this thing? Oh, wait, that's not the wall. Wait, I just realized that's not the wall. Is this a bench? Damn, battery's already low. Yeah, we're gonna figure out what that is. Alright, we're gonna take what we have, we're gonna sell it off. Maybe we try out some dynamite now? We got a little bit of cash to burn. I would rather save up. We might be at 600 actually, because we're at 468. We got a bit of silver in there and a few other materials. If we're at 600, what we'll do is we'll go to the drill. I can drill and then just use $3 to charge. I am shovel. All right, let's go see how this drill works. Okay, turn on the beep. Oh yeah, getting a drill was great. Now we do definitely want to upgrade both our inventory and our battery. Yeah, I think rushing to the drill is a great idea. Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, because we're going to fill up our inventory pretty automatically now, because before you'd be digging around things with a shovel, but now if you're just drilling through, you're going to hit a lot more objects. So I feel like inventory is my next main goal. So let's sell what we have, recharge, and just start boosting our inventory like crazy. Charge, inventory. Let's go. Whoa, warning? You haven't saved the game for 30 minutes. Thank you, game. Alright, now, I feel like they could autosave every time I sell off materials. But, you know what? I appreciate a game that's willing to say, hey, don't. You're creeping up on an important amount of info you're about to lose if things go wrong. Alright, sorry, just grabbing silver just because it's some of the most valuable stuff we have, but let's... Oh yeah, I love the drill. Oh, this changes everything. How do you... Oh yeah, you can break the light. Got it. Glad to learn that now, then. Inventory's full. So, we have a wooden... Oh! No, that's not a bench. This is a mine shaft. Wait, no, this is like an actual... Like, that's scaffolding around, like, a rocky entrance to a mine. We've got it. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the vision. I was like, why is there a wooden bench underground? But I'm now realizing I think that's like a buried mine shaft entrance. I wonder if there'll be gold. Silver and gold, everybody. I love gold. Let's go. Okay, sell, recharge. Fuck it, we'll just do a battery. And honestly, we're just using our jetpack right now for little jumps, so I think we'll keep it at the level it's currently at. Alright, so I think, ow. Damn, okay. We'll lower that a little bit. Okay, so I think actually, if this is the scaffolding, then the door I think is down. I should have gotten a new lamp. Right? Shouldn't this... Hey, it was gold! Hell yeah. Battery low, true, but... No, I really thought there'd be like an actual, like... Unless... Wait, no, what was it? There was something specific dynamite could... It said it couldn't blow up white rock? So, like, is that white rock and this is rock we can blow? So do we just need dynamite now to see what's in there? Alright, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Alright, let's go get some dynamite. Let's toss some dynamite at that. Hey, if there's anything I know, it's randomly throwing dynamite while doing tunneling work is always helpful. Nothing has ever gone wrong from just throwing dynamite at some rock, okay? And if anyone tells you otherwise, just know what they're doing is trying to deny you your dynamite dreams. If you dream of dynamite, you fucking live that dream, okay? Okay, yeah, that cleared out the rock. Yeah! I forgot to get lamps. Hey, there we go. Make it just a little wider. Just because I like the cleanliness. It's a crate with 4 dynamite, 2 lamps, and 75 money. I mean, fair enough. Is that legit all we... Alright, okay, so you can find little treasure rooms, I guess. Understood. Little treasure room. It'll be marked by rocks, I guess, that you'll need dynamite to bust in. Alright, inventory's full. We'll take what we got, sell it off. We got a little bit of gold in there, so we should actually be pretty solid on money. Now with the drill... Drill and backpack means we can start doing a lot more ballsy digging, I think. So we're going to go down there, and am I going to spiral? Or am I going to try to get goofy with it? We have 1 lamp. We're going to buy out lamps. And we're going to go fucking deep diving. We're about to become deep diving Damien. For those who don't know, When I was doing a long form Dungeons and Dragons thing, I was running a campaign for about 4 years, right? And to keep track of all the different characters that players were meeting, I made use of Roll20's, like, trying to remember the name of the, like, in-game system thing, but basically you could make memos, and some of them were designed to be characters, and you would give them names and descriptions, and you could hide portions of their descriptions. So you could write a full character description and just reveal parts as players found out about the character, you know? And I had a ton of those. I had like a good 80 or so of those to track different like choices my players had been making. Until one day the players were going through the whole list. And at one point, one of my players asked me, "Hey, who's Deep Divin' Damien?" And I thought they were messing with me. Because you see, I didn't set up any real security systems or anything for my campaign. So for me, in my head, I'm like, oh, they just fucking... that someone made this and added it in. But then I read it, and it wasn't something that just someone did just to mess with me. Because the entire description was, Deep Divin' Damien. Deep Divin' Damien is a dwarf who travels the deep mines between a specific mountain range, and he's convinced that squids are... And that was everything written about Deep Divin' Damien. To this day, I don't remember exactly why I created that, or what he was afraid squids are, or what it, no, he's convinced that the squids are. And it became just a joke in the fucking campaign, where everyone kept wondering when they were going to meet Deep Divin' Damien so they could find out what he's convinced the squids are. And I don't know. I didn't know if I was doing a reference to, like, fuck, what are they called? What are the squid head dudes in D&D? The ones that put the parasite in your brain. I didn't know if I was making a reference to them. I don't know if this was something about, like, the reason he was in the mines is he's scared of squids in the ocean. I don't know. But then it just became, anytime there was any sort of a mystery, they'd just be like, dang, I sure hope this isn't another Deep Divin' Damien, Eric. The game knows. I mean, that sounds about right. Squids are something. And I too would be concerned. What do we got? Shoot, I'm low on battery, so I shouldn't go down there, but I think that'll be it. Yeah. I think we'll recharge, we'll come down, we have 3 lights, we've got 4 bits of dynamite. We'll go down there, and we'll actually just do a full-on drop-in with our jetpack, and we'll just see what's in that next cavern. See if maybe our metal detector or anything picks shit up. Because I do want to find the second key, right? Because you still have this box that needs a second key. Alright, let's fucking go. Ouch. Oh. some sort of magma rock down here? Well, that definitely seems like something we should use some dynamite on. Maybe something fun will happen. Maybe we'll cause an entire volcanic eruption. Ooh, okay, it's hot. It was not hot when I first landed on it, but it has become hot. I think it heard I was going to blow it up, and it decided to fight back. I cannot have the rock beneath my house fighting back. Alright. Haha! Oh! Oh, money bag. I was hoping for a key. Wait, just a money bag? Gosh dang it. I was rooting for a key. Gorsh. Where's the third beat? Down, up. Hey, key. All right, we got it. We got a second key. Hell yeah. Alright, we're gonna pop the chest. Now, the chest. The secret. Eric's chest. The chest in Eric's garage. The secret garage that only Eric can access. That's the key. Alright, alright, alright. What do we got? Oh, dynamite radius upgrade plus a teleporter. Teleports you back to the Oh! Can I buy teleporter? I can't buy teleporter? Shit. Damn. But we got a teleporter, which means we could do a ballsy dig. Which means right now we could go ahead and just see how deep we can get on a full battery charge, you know? Let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. We're just gonna do a slope. We're gonna do just like basically a very narrow, tight slope. Alright, well, we're gonna do a bit of dynamite first, but then we're gonna do a very narrow, tight slope. Oh! Another secret room. Okay, on this level... this way. Alright, I was about to do just a very deep dive, but then we hit something. Gosh, where is this? Platinum. New material. Hell yeah. Alright, is it that? Oh yeah, that's wood. Okay, but this is white stone. I don't think we can dynamite through white stone. Oh, and we're almost out of battery, too. Alright, we could go buy some dynamite. Try to figure... Ooh, wait, so if it's there and that's white stone, then I think the entrance is here, actually. Yeah, I think that's the entrance. I think if we get a little bit of dynamite in there, we should be good. Alright. Oh, I'm inventory full. Got it. Hell yeah. Okay. So we get some dynamite. We'll try to punch our way in through there, but we already unlocked the chest in our house. Unless there's another chest? Does this chest, like, open every time we get 2 keys? No, it's fully open. So we've only got 1 teleporter, and we don't seem to have a way to get more at this point. Maybe there'll be another teleporter in there.
I think you have the wrong door.
Hello there, Raiders.
Two
President
blocks down.
Kitty Cat. Hi.
Fuck you.
Hello. My name is Eric. Yes, that one. I'm a pudgy little tardigrade who likes to play video games, and today we're just digging a hole. Welcome. What brings you around? I don't think I've ever been raided by you before, President Kitty Cat. Welcome. Unless, no, were you the one who Argon led to me? Wait, no, I think I have a thin memory. I might be confusing you. Tardigrades never die. True, though. Unless we're eaten. It's actually a little-known fact. It's a little-known fact that tardigrades, while immune to heat, cold, radiation, the vacuum of space, and pressure, are actually very vulnerable to acid. And as such, their main weakness is being eaten. Which feels, let's be honest here, kind of like a bullshit weakness. Dynamite. Hey. Welcome, President Kitty Cat. What were you streaming? Just don't walk in anybody's mouth. I try not to. I do try not to. Hey, dynamite lamp money. Alright. Now that could be enough money. I think that's more than enough money for us to just upgrade our drill straight up. But you know, we got some battery left. So why not just keep going down? I was planning, now that we have a teleporter, just to do a very deep dive. Oh, rock. There we go. Ow! Alright, that's fair. That's fair. That's on me. Chess, and then burn time reading poetry. Ooh, your own poetry? Or is there a poet you really like? I know you just finished stream and are desperate to relax, but I'm gonna ask you questions until you leave, President Kitty Cat. You are mine now. You are the source of my yapping. You will be farmed for content. my battery's low, but do we just take the dive and teleport out? Diamond! It's so sharp it could cut through diamond. Alright, that's an inventory full. Oh, in that case, yeah, well, let's try. If we run out of battery, then we can use the teleporter, but... Hey, we didn't even need to use the teleporter. Let's go. I love reading. Haven't read much poetry, though. There was a good poem by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers. What about you? Don't really read a lot of poetry. I remember at one point, my dad had me read a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. And then he told me some history of Edgar Allan Poe's family. I don't know what my dad's whole goal was at the time. But basically, I read the poem that Edgar Allan Poe had written about his dead, underaged cousin. And how her only purpose was to love and be loved by him. And after that, I kept hearing about how much people love Edgar Allan Poe's poetry, and I found it really hard to get into poetry. There was something about that didn't quite sit right with me. There was something about this man being obsessed with his underaged cousin's corpse. Well, how old were you? That's a tough one. I don't even remember that. Like, probably somewhere in the teens, you know, but it's very much like, people think this guy's a really good poet. I mean, he might be, but there definitely feels like a point where maybe after reading that one, you'd start to go, maybe we shouldn't make this guy famous about his poetry. Damn, a lot of lava flow all of a sudden. Now, there's definitely good poetry out there. I don't know. Never been huge into poetry. It might be because I have a touch of the tism, though. Did your dad give you a reason why he picked that one? Because, like, he has more famous ones. I think it's because my dad knew just, like, the history, like, some of Edgar Allan Poe's shit. And so I think my dad wanted me to have that understanding of Edgar Allan Poe. Basically, I don't know if my dad's actually my dad might just have been a fan of his poetry, but at the same time found out that about him and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna load you up with the problems first, so then you can decide how you feel." My dad's a very extra person. I remember my dad saying that my mom really didn't like any of his suggestions for what he wanted to name me. I don't know how serious he was, but I remember the first name my mom apparently proposed for me, instead of Eric, which it is now, was Christian. And my dad said he would agree to name me Christian under the sole condition that my middle name had to be Jew. My mom apparently did not take that deal, and so they instead named me Eric, with my dad's condition on that it had to be spelt with a K, so it would be like how the Vikings spelled it. I love my dad. He has an absolute vibe to him, is what I'll say. It sounds like he has a sense of humor, most certainly. I am trying to remember. Now I'm remembering, though. I had a very interesting thing. I don't know where you're from, President Kitty Cat, but I'm from the US, and I specifically grew up in the state of Alaska. And something I've learned about the United States that people not from the United States find crazy is most states, whenever they're doing history, tend to include like at least one semester of just state specific history, you know? And in Alaska, they take that slightly further. Where, for example, in biology, you'll normally take a semester of Alaskan biology, where like you learn all the different species of salmon. And then there was an English class that I was taking that we had like a semester that was just focused when we were doing like it was, I guess it wasn't a semester, but it was a period of time where we were doing poems, where we had I think 2 weeks just focused on Alaskan poetry. And I can't remember who the poet was, but there was a bit of Alaskan poetry that was written by a guy that I think he was either like a survivalist or like a sled dog racer or something. Basically someone who was out in the Alaskan wild rather frequently. And he wrote a poem basically that was just about a guy walking through the tundra, coming across like a furnace and just crawling inside the furnace so he could be warm. And when someone came across him, he asked them to load more wood in with him. Poetry's weird. Dang, I'm almost fucking fully upgraded. Alright. We get into the bot. Wait, is this game? You know, I didn't know how long or short this game would be. But if we're already through all the incrementation, we're probably coming towards the end of it. That's kind of cool. Alaska fascinates me. I grew up in East Texas. We had a minor state history. I had a shitty small town education. No, I remember during one of our history classes, we had one class. So it was just one day, but we had one class that we learned the history of every single gold rush in Alaska. A lot of people know about the Yukon River gold rush, which is interesting, was technically in Canada, but they don't know that that was actually the second gold rush in Alaska. The very first gold rush was in what's now our capital called Juneau, but what was found was essentially a very massive vein of gold. So there was a big mine dug, but Juneau is on an island. And I think you know where we're going with this. One day while they were digging in the gold mine, someone popped the seal and the ocean swept back in and filled up the entire like mountain that they had mined up with salt water. So that ended up stopping there. The second gold rush was the Yukon River gold rush. People mostly went through Alaska into Canada to get to the Yukon River. The third gold rush, I believe, was the Nome gold rush. Yeah, so Nome had a very interesting position of where it was, where essentially it had a lot of river deltas that washed down from the mountains into the ocean, and then the ocean current pushed gold nuggets up onto the beach. So people were functionally raking and sifting through beach sand, finding gold nuggets. And then the final big one was actually caused by a tech change, where essentially people had started making pressurized water pumps, and they found that they could like pressure wash functionally massive amounts of topsoil away. And then that started the fourth and final major gold rush in Alaska. And I think that was somewhere in the tundra. Essentially, there was this big area of permafrost that the pressurized water could melt all the way through, essentially. And they found like a lot of areas where like past rivers or glaciers had just dropped off gold functionally. And people were just power washing it up out of the permafrost. Alaskans are very into their history. Diamond, diamond, shine bright like a diamond. I didn't even know Alaska had gold. Wait, you didn't know? I thought that was the only thing people knew about Alaska. People know 3 things about Alaska. It's where Balter's from. It's very, very cold, and it had gold. I thought that was the things everyone knew about Alaska. Well, I'm glad I could teach you about Alaska's many, many gold rushes. It's basically why people came here initially. Well, it's not why Alaska was bought. The main reason Alaska was bought was because the United States wanted a staging ground where they surrounded Canada on multiple sides in case they ever decided to invade. Rather, I guess I would say in case they ever decided to invade again, if we're including the War of 1812, I believe. Right, 1812? Yeah, that was the one where it was with Canada and Britain. Oh. Uh-oh. I can't use dynamite. They knew what I wanted. They knew I wanted to fucking throw dynamite. Oh god, I've dug too greedily and too deep. Cold Ice and Sarah Palin. So, fun fact, because I was asked this a lot growing up when, like, especially when I went to college, but also if I did summer camps in the lower 48. No, Sarah Palin does not have an Alaskan accent. I have an Alaskan accent. Alaskans, shockingly, speak a little like a mix between Midwesterners and West Coasters. Sarah Palin, no one knows where she got her accent. Literally no one else in Alaska besides her speaks that way. Well, it's not a Balrog, so that's good. Why does it look like a fucking elephant seal? No, it's a ring. Or is it a star-nosed mole? Oh, it's a star-nosed mole. Alright. We got past it. We're good. I still have a teleporter, so worst case, I have a way out. Unless, like the dynamite, you can't use the teleporter down here. Oh no. Is this a maze? Alright, we're not going that way. That homie's waiting for me. Alright, we running for it. We running for it. We making a dash. We making a dash. I think we got away. Okay, I think we got it. I think we got out of the way. Well, this feels like a boss room. I don't even know if I fight anything, but this feels like I might be at a boss room right about now. I'm so paranoid. I'm sorry, this feels very Elden Ring all of a sudden. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't fog in front of me. Alright, well, let's... This feels like a death sentence. I feel like I'm about to fucking die. Oh! Achievement unlocked. Find the treasure. Yay! Hit the teleporter! Hit the This guy again. Why are you feeding people to the star-nosed moles? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, but why? Oh, achievement mode unlocked. When starting a new game, you can now hunt achievements displayed in your garage? I want to... Ooh, wait, what'll continue take me to? Alright, so what upgrades do we have? We have almost everything upgraded. Well, y'all, I know many of you wanted me to do this, so I think it's time. What, y'all like... You guys wanted me to strip mine, right? Well, now that we know what's beneath us is just fucking death moles, I have no qualms against strip mining this place. Alright, so let's get it. Let's fucking get her done. Well, fully upgraded jetpack too, so I can probably even jump out once we have it strip mined. Let's go. It's the Underminer. I'm always beneath you, because nothing is beneath me. Is that the true ending? Well, apparently you can play again in achievement mode? Oh, I don't know. Should I restart? Well, let me go check on Steam. What achievements do you guys have? Collect 100 stone, earn $20,000, waste 50 ore, throw 100 dynamite, rainbow ore, fall for 4 seconds. Interesting. Well, there's an achievement for wasting ore, so let's... Unless I have to be in new game achievement mode? Because I do feel like I've already wasted 50. I might have to go back and do achievement mode if I want to do that. Damn, but that's like a new game. Ugh. I'm not going back to the shovel. Nah, we're strip mining. We're just strip mining. We're seeing if we can reveal anything we didn't discover. Well, it did mention rainbow ore, so I think there's a whole type of ore I never discovered. God, could you imagine you send someone out here to fucking get fed to the star-nosed moles of the underground, and you come back and you find where they dug not like a complex tunnel system, kind of like how I did of exploring the caverns, but just a strip-mined backyard? I feel like there's a point, because obviously they gotta refill it in, at least for the most part, right? In between people showing up. And just one time you come back, you're like, it took all of the dirt? All of it? How did they even take all of the dirt? Why would they take all of it? Have to refill this whole thing all the way down. Alright, well, let's go. Dora, 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 the Explorer. Looking down in the water, Gosh. Alright. I'll try to strip mine this. I'll strip mine for as long as I can stand it. Since I know you guys want to see the strip mine. But even with this max level drill, this is a bit of a commitment. So I guess I make no promises that we're going to get all the way down to Mole Town. Down, down to Goblin Town, down, down to Goblin Town, down, down to Goblin Town. You go, my lads, below my lads. So maybe that's why you only get one teleporter. Huh. I guess this is a pretty short game. So I guess anyone out there looking for a pretty short incremental game, this is pretty solid. But there is a different digging game I played, which I think did a lot more. I remember having it a lot longer play session. Let me actually look that up. Just the word, yeah, Keep Digging is another game. Very similar mechanics to this. Shovel upgrades, dynamite, stuff like that. Instead of a jetpack, though, I think you get climbing ropes that function very similarly, you know? But I would say that game had about, for me, I think a 4-hour play session, and that was without streaming. So just like my own digging rate, about 4 hours. Whereas this game, with streaming conversations, with me going off to look things up occasionally, is obviously, what are we at? We're at about the 2-hour mark. It's a very short game. I think I started to notice that. I think right at the point where I'm like, oh, we're already halfway through the shovel upgrades. That was the stage where I was like, okay. I don't think this game's going to be quite as long as I was hoping it to be. I was really rooting for another 4-hour play session to like fill up the full stream time. I might have to take a note out of President Kitty's book and read you guys some beautiful poetry. Alright, chat. If any of you have a favorite poem... Money bag. Upsides of strip mining. You find money bags. Send me your favorite bits of poetry. Who's got a favorite poem? Hit me with it. And I'll read it. Oh, yeah. No, after feeding someone to a mole, you come into their backyard, you're like, God damn it. The Fortnite Battle Pass Sea Shanty. So wait, that isn't the #1 victory royale, right? Is there an actual sea shanty? Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down. Get down. Just took out Tomato Town. I'll look it up. No, I'll give it to you. I promised you, even though you gave me a cringe-ass answer, even though I know this isn't actually your favorite poem, Ultima, I'll take a look. What's here? Fortnite Battle Pass Sea Shanty. Okay, one second. For a Fortnite Battle Pass, I just shit out my ass when I booted up my PC because I need meat to get that Fortnite Battle Pass. What the fuck? What the fuck? What is this? Why would you make me read this? Ultima, why is this your favorite poem? Defend your favorite poem, Ultima. This your man? Someone come get your man. It lives rent free in my head. Gosh dang it. Would you look at that? We are making some distance. Yeah, dynamite's not super good at digging. Good for breaking the rocks, obviously. And that's, you know, what it's intended for. But I had hoped it'd be a little better at digging. Alright, no, I talked about it. So I'll give you guys technically a real poem. Let me see if I can find, let's hear. Alaskan poem Furnace? The Cremation of Sam McGee. Written by Robert W. Service. 1874 to 1958. Do we not know when? What? Alright. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but in the land of gold it seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day he was mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold, though the parkas fold. It stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes were closed and the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see, it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we laid packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and Cap says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess, and if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of moan, it's the cursed cold and it's got a right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet tain't been dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair you'll cremate my last remains. A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail, and we started on the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. Before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate my last remains. Now a promise made is debt unpaid, and the trail had its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart now I curse that load. And the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathe that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heave and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent and grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in, and I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in ice, but I saw in a trice. It was called the Alice May. And I looked at it and thought a bit, and looked at the frozen chum. Then here, I said with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying round, and heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so, and the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why, and the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out, they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, Please close the door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, this is the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun, but the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night in the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Yeah, so that's something I had to read in high school for an English class. I feel like there was even a quiz on this. You quiz something. There isn't even like, that's crazy. I'm really remembering some of my high school English classes now. And how much of high school English is like seemingly the most basic levels of reading comprehension. No, the example that always comes to my head, and I know I've told you all this before, was when I was in advanced, like I was in an AP English class, like my senior year, and in it we had to read like Shakespeare plays, and then the questions like on the quiz afterwards would always just be along the lines of, what happened in the paragraph you just read? And it's always like, what the paragraph said happened. What do you mean happened? But, you know, from what I've heard, we're getting very bad at English comprehension anymore. I've heard literacy rates are lower than they've ever been. Going back to peasant literacy. What was it? A lot of people think of, like, medieval peasants as illiterate in, like, a way of they couldn't read at all. But the truth is, if you think about it, like, for example, everybody knows about ye old tavern, ye old whatever, and, like, you know, signage, essentially, from the time. Like, that's where that joke comes. What was it? The Y was supposed to make the TH sound, so it was the old tavern, not ye. But, like, the fact that signage was used, you know, really shows that people could read signs, they could write their names, they could read basic numbers, like reports of how much grain was grown or whatever, but they couldn't, like, read a new text, essentially. Like, if a new, like a book, like a scroll, like something like that, full of, like, new words or things you have to figure out through context that aren't literal and immediately present, is more so what's meant by a level of illiteracy. Literacy is not technically your ability to read a word, but more so your ability to read a language, you know? And that's the thing. Almost everybody can read words. Like, if you think about it, today, everybody reads text. Like, everybody reads text messages instant messages. People communicate mostly through social media. People read captioning on video. People can read words just as good as they ever could. But there's a difference there. And I've heard there's one concern some people are having, that it's very likely a lot of people in school are going to start doing, like, if they're assigned reading, where they will ask, for example, ChatGPT or any other AI or something to re-explain a text to them. Like, hey, I'm supposed to read this text. Can you explain what this paragraph said? And essentially, instead of looking up and trying to read or trying to learn what a word means, people are essentially going to end up only ever reading functionally a Sparks Note version of any book that exists. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly that does, because obviously that doesn't prevent literacy, but it essentially sets a soft cap on literacy growth, right? Where to get beyond like a Spark Notes level of literacy would become harder and harder, essentially, where there'll be fewer and fewer things available beyond that level. Because if, for example, you never read beyond that level, you're never going to produce writing beyond that level. And if you don't produce writing beyond that level, there's less writing available beyond that level. So there's less likely people will even encounter it as something to read. Essentially, it seems like evolutionary pressure is putting a cap on our literacy levels right now. Oh, the danger of a 1% reduction compounded over time. Patty was very drunk, not good at driving. To be fair, no one is good at driving an RV there yet. How far did you guys make? Did you make it past the ferry and the elevator? Did you do the Dukes of Hazzard jump? What do you mean English peasants couldn't speak, read, or write French or Latin? True, I guess they did have to deal more so with a bit of a language thing. But I think it's, like, the big thing is, like, a lot of illiteracy, like, in that time, even if you were looking at the right language, had to do with didn't have to do with reading words. People could read words that they were familiar with. They could read a sign. But more so had to do with their ability to approach text they weren't familiar with. Creates a soft ceiling, exactly. Like how, depending on how calculator puts a soft cap on the math that you can perform. Now, it is funny with math is, what, like, because people, I feel like people rediscover new math every 5 years or so. Because who's the comedian? There's a comedian, let's see, your comedy song, New Math, who made fun of new math when it first came out. The Tom Lehrer? And this guy, when did he write this? Tom Lehrer, New Math. You think release date will get me what I'm looking for? Tom Lehrer's satirical song New Math was released in 1965. Schools have been teaching new math since 1965, and people are still to this day complaining about it, about how it's not the right. And I mean, I learned new math. I feel like you can definitely take new math to ridiculous extremes, but I don't feel like new math is a bad way to approach math. We got stuck on the DO8. You got stuck on the Dukes of Hazzard jump. I'm sorry. Big jump. Hi, son. How you doing? For those who don't know, if in school you had to learn math where instead of memorizing every single possible level of addition and multiplication, like if in school you had to memorize what 125 plus 15 would be, or like 16, 17, something like if you had to memorize that addition, that was essentially older form of math. New math is the function of taking math and breaking it down into smaller problems. People like to go to the smallest version of it to make it seem as ridiculous as possible, so I'll go there. For example, instead of approaching 8 plus 8 as 8 plus 8, you approach 8 plus 8 as 8 is 5 and 3. So I know 5 plus 5 is 10, and 3 plus 3 is 6. And 10 plus 6 is 16. That's essentially the idea of new math, is being able to break math down into smaller portions. And conceptually, I don't know, I kind of support new math in a way. Because if you do the new math approach to it, essentially then all you have to memorize is all of your additions up to 10, functionally. So, 1 plus every number, 2 plus every number, 3 plus every, all the way up to 9 and 10. And then from that point, you can break any math problem down to that level. So you only need to memorize, essentially a single worksheet of addition. And then you have all the addition memorization done. And then you can just apply the new math problems, the new math approach to it from that point onward. Same with multiplication. You just have to learn your multiplications if you want to be funny up to 12. And then from that point, you can break your multiplication down. But a lot of people don't like new math in the way where they'll be like, my kid brought me a thing and he got an F because he had 5 plus 5 and he said it was 10 and the teacher was like, you got to break it down into smaller bit. And it's like, I don't know. It's something interesting. We're kind of like how we're talking about doing soft apps. If you do the new math approach, you are requiring people to memorize less math. And so in a way, you're soft capping their memorization. But I feel like there's still, as long as you're doing it properly, you're still memorizing the absolute basics of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Your 1 through 10s, essentially. And then you're just applying a method to fill in the rest. Because what was it? I don't know if it was like Plato or Homer or, one of the Greek dudes who was super anti-writing. Or he said the written language is going to make people dumber. Students won't have to memorize every book now. They'll just write it down and read it, and memories will be shot to shit. And I'm sorry, I guess he's technically right. I don't have any books memorized. I don't have a single book memorized. However, I think I do have many movies and TV shows memorized, so maybe he's kind of full of shit. I did that in elementary school. In high school, I did the small version. Oh, you had to do rote memorization through elementary school? If I can ask, what state did you go to school in? Because I was, like I said, new math was introduced in 1965. Basically, all standardized schools do new math from elementary onward. Holy shit. New math is just old math, i.e. math, but with extra pointless no, new math is not pointless. I just explained to you what new math is for. New math is to reduce the amount you have to memorize and to provide you with a method instead. So you memorize your 1 through 10s for addition, multiplication, division, subtraction. And then you memorize the method that makes it applicable to no matter how large a math problem gets. How can we do math but waste a bunch of fucking time doing it? No, what I did hear about is when people had to learn, that there were times where math classes were teaching how to do non-base 10 math. And while I find non-base 10 math to be a fun puzzle to approach, I couldn't imagine learning other base math. I feel like that would permanently fuck over the way I think of math. I feel like I'm glad where I was teaching never went into non-base 10. I feel like that's something you gotta save for college. You need people just to be comfortable with normal math.
before you start teaching them how to do non-base 10 math. What the fuck is base 10? Alright, Nez. So you know how in the ones place, we go from 0 to 9? And then at 9, we put 0 back in, and then we put a 1 in the tens place? And then once you get to 9 tens, or 90, if we go up again, we put a 0 in the tens place, then we put a 1 in the hundreds place. That's base 10. Every 10, we go up a place. But base 10 doesn't have to be the base system you could do. You could do base 4. So if you had base 4, you would do 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20. I don't know when other bases get applied. I know there are math instances where you do other bases, but I don't know the actual, like, if there's a general use case for it. Base 12 is counting to 12 in the ones place. Base 16 is numbers before going to the 10. Yeah. What the fuck? 16 in common in queuing along with binary. So do people actually count in base 16 when they're doing coding? I always figured most people coded in base 10. I guess you can. I imagine it makes it easier to read binary, but you almost never need to read binary, right? Is it really, is doing base 16 basically a show-off skill? Like, you 100% don't need to do this? Why would you not use base 10? Why would you use base 10? So the way I always thought of it was more so in the historical context, Nez. More so like, there wasn't a reason to choose base 10, if you think about it. Like, you just think of base 10 as the default because that's all we've been taught to use, you know? But technically, we could have, or I guess the Arabic language could have, decided to do base something else from the very beginning. And then if someone talked about, oh, what if we did base 10? You'd be like, why would we do base 10? Come on, we've always done base 11. Obviously, you wouldn't use the terms at that point, but like, it didn't have to be base 10. I mean, I guess, yes, that's the way I tended to think of non-base 10 math, is more so, you know, interesting historically how, you know, we didn't need to do base 10, but we fell on base 10, so it's interesting to think about other base math systems. I don't know if there's a time you ever have to use non-base 10. Obviously, with binary systems, especially because they're all broken down into an 8-bit, you could look at base 8, base 16 sort of stuff for, like, easier application of ideas to coding. But you also can just code in base 10. I don't think you need to code in the binary. You've never heard the term base 10 before? Alright, well, yeah. You know what, I that's probably for the best. Like I said, if you start learning another base system, depending on when you learn it, it will fuck with the way you think of math, essentially. It permanently reshapes, in my opinion, the way you think of math, because, like I said, you suddenly realize, oh, we don't have to do base 10. The reason we do base 10 is functionally meaningless. We could do base whatever, and unfortunately, if you go too deep, you might start not understanding math. Really, the way math works, you gotta agree on a base with everyone else. Math gets way too confusing if you have to start mixing bases. Well, like was mentioned, if we are working in a system like binary that works on a different bit size, essentially from 10, like how most binary data is stored in, you know, 16 bits, it could make sense if all of the math you're ever doing is based on 16, it can become a lot easier to do math and conversions by swapping. I guess that's actually the way to think of it. Is base 10 compared to other bases is more like trying to compare, you know, metric or imperial systems. It's more so about setting a standard of measurement and conversion than it is about actually affecting how math works. You could do base whatever, but why not do base what is easy? Well, what is base what is easy? Nez? Are you just determining the math you learned is the easiest way? Have you tried other bases to figure out which base is easiest to learn? Or do you have a base you were taught and are presuming since you know it, that's the easiest base? You fool! You've fallen into a bias! Your logical fallacy is exposed! Into intellectual prison with you, where the nerds will point and laugh until you give them a swirly. Big rock. It really feels a lot more like I'm digging with a leaf blower than with a fucking drill, which is hilarious. What happens if I fully dig a rock? Like, can I unsurround it with dirt? Will it collapse on itself? Will it just be free floating? What I'm trying to say, though, if you figure out base 16 and it's easier, do that. It's not, oh, this will fuck up the way you see math. It's, oh, this is you. No, but it will fuck up the way you see math when you communicate with other people. Because let's say you find out base 16 is easier, but everyone else on the planet uses base 10. So when people are casually talking about math, you and them confuse your bases. And you're accidentally thinking in base 16 while they're thinking in base 10. You're fundamentally thinking of just drastically different numbers over time. Hell, at a certain level of difference, you're also basically conceptualizing numbers differently. You know, rock no collapse on itself. What do you mean? Okay, but if you're talking in base 16... then the number 20 would be 32 in base 10. So if you're talking in base 16 and someone's talking in base 10, you're almost double the difference from each other? Unless you're saying the way we should approach math is everyone mentions their favorite base system right off the bat. And everybody's like, when you're converting time zones trying to plan an online meetup, everyone's like, alright, they live in base 10, this person lives in base 16. Oh, what do you mean you do base 4, you asshole? Okay. Maybe I'm not understanding how base thing works. If it's base 20, 16 equals 26, true. Yeah, you see, because the way you're approaching it, Nez, is you're thinking of bases in base 10. So your concept of when the tens place goes up is fucking with your head. You gotta remember, you don't, if you're in base 16, you don't have a tens place. You have a 16s place. So the way you would count would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 1A, 1B, 1C, all the way up to 1F. And it's just... Yeah, it's mostly about affecting divisibility, fractions, conversions as well. I feel like conversions is another big one. Oh, no, fuck you. I totally was misunderstanding. That's fair. The truth is, you don't really, as you've probably experienced in your life, you don't really need to understand the different potentials of base systems. It's not something that really ever comes up at all. And the way most people would, the way most people code is in a base 10 system, in spite of the fact that the data is stored in a 16-bit system. We just do the conversion over to base 10 because people have learned base 10, so they're more comfortable with base 10. And that's just how it'll be, but it's just like, basically base 10 has shaped the way modern humanity thinks about numbers functionally. Now, if you want to build probably the most complicated base system, but one that might actually reveal a lot of interesting mathematical things, would be to do a base pi system. I feel like there might be something interesting you could discover if you teach someone base pi from childbirth, and then throw them at math later on. But god, base pi would be hell. Learning base pi would be an absolute experience of hell. Base 12 is arguably better than base 10, as 12 is evenly divisible by 3 and 4 will not divisible by... Am I wrong, little pink? I need shit written down or I usually don't get what the teacher's talking about. That's okay. There will not be a test on this, son. Non-whole bases would be awful. Yeah. But I more so mean, little pink, what do you think? If our math was built on a base pi system, would we probably have a better fundamental understanding of certain mathematical things? No. I agree. A non-whole base would fucking cause people's heads to it. People would die of aneurysm. I'm just saying, I feel like if we thought about math in the way of base pi, there might be some things that are really complicated that are suddenly made obvious. Similar theory to, like, you know, if you did base gravity, base light speed. Essentially, if our base was actually based on a fundamental thing, instead of how many fingies humans normally kind of have. I wonder if base 10 was actually made because of our fingies. Why did humanity land on base 10? No AI. I don't know. I guess most people seem to be guessing finger, but I don't know if I believe that. Because if it was just fingers, why wouldn't we have a base 5 system? Because then, you know, you would make your 10s place your 5s place, so it'd be how many hands? Because you're not counting hands of fingers, you know? It's how many humans of fingers is functionally what base 10 is? How many humans worth of fingers is that? was what we're saying when we're counting in base 10. Oh, Eric, what is this game? I want to start it after you and beat it before you. Oh, I already beat the game, Nez. I'm just doing a full clear cut on it. But if you want to know, this is a game about digging a hole. Trademark. The game is literally called A Game About Digging a Hole. If you want to count in pi, go measure in radians. Yeah, you see? That's what I'm saying. Base C would be impractical in all senses of everything. Well, it would be scaled weird, but it like Kelvin isn't impractical, for example. Like for most daily use it is, but like there's a reason we use it when we use Kelvin, in spite of it being impractical for day-to-day references, you know? And I'm just saying, so the reason we made Kelvin isn't because we didn't have a temperature system. It's because we wanted to recontextualize how we think of certain temperatures. That's all I'm saying, is I feel like base pi, base C, base whatever might do an interesting job of recontextualizing the math equations associated with them, you know? And they would all be massive hellscapes that would kill people. We would have to sacrifice many lives as people died from having aneurysms trying to conceptualize the world in non-whole bases. But then we might find something kind of new and cool, and that'd be interesting. Listen, some of the nerds may die. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Every culture counts in a different way? Huh? Do they? Isn't everyone basically base 10 at this point? Honestly, doesn't everybody use the Arabic numbering system as well? Like, not just base 10, but base 10 and Arabic numbers? Right, that was the Arabic number counting system, right? That introduced 0? Oh, that's actually what it... Okay, yeah, there you go, Hall. But if you want a bigger game, there's another game almost exactly like this that's just called Keep Digging. That has about double this game's playtime if you are actually kind of vibing with the idea of a game where you just dig a hole. If you want to go a lot longer than this game goes, go with Keep Digging over this one. But if you want a quicker, just enjoyable, quick digging game, this one's pretty solid for a quick 2-hour play session. Game is relevant to what you play. Satisfactory star rupture. Get it, dude. Base 10 is the international standard now, but historically, different cultures had different counting systems. What would... I'm real curious. What was the ancient Chinese counting system? They got writing first? Like, the Chinese locality, right? I think that developed writing first, right? Well, paper first. Maybe not like writing. But I think mass available writing on paper and ink. I think they did. So they must have had a math system. Like a recorded math system that we could reference. For example, I think it'd be very hard to figure out exactly what the counting system of... Was it the Incans who used the rope knot writing system? Or am I thinking of a different South American group? I think it's the Incans, but if not, I know there's one that used a knotting system. Should have talked fast. Well, I already bought this one. All right. Well, if you really like this one and you want more, go look up Keep Digging. That one also has skins that turn you into a monkey with a pickaxe. The word dozen comes from the fact that English was a base 12 for a decent amount of time. Dozen. Is that why the word 11 doesn't fit? Wait, is that why the words 11 and 12 don't fit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Huh. Hold up. I hadn't even considered why 11 and 12 don't fit. Did that... Huh. I appreciate... Is that why the Imperial system is so hard to convert? Alright, what happens to the Imperial system in a base 10? Hold up. If the Imperial system makes goddamn sense in base 10, I'm gonna be so upset. Keep digging, similar to Star Rupture, an American Truck Simulator. Hey, you're the one who asked me what game this was. I didn't recommend this game. Oh, keep digging. I mean, it's exactly what this game is. Just a game where you dig very deep. I don't know what to tell you. You're the one who's looking for a dig a hole game. There you go. Oh no, I know about that, but that wasn't an English thing. That was a Roman emperors were too full of themselves thing. Could you imagine naming your months out of specific numbers? And then an emperor said, now that's real interesting, but what if we added my name in there? But sir, then the numbers wouldn't make sense. Should we change everything's name? No, I think we can leave the numbers, and then we also add my name. But, sir, then the numbers won't match up. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. Oh, shit, you actually know. Damn, egg on my face. I know many things. I just hadn't really thought about why 11 and 12 don't fit in with the counting system. No, it's one of those things where, like, when you look at it, you're like, yeah, that should have stuck out more to me. As a kid, you're like, I don't give a shit. I mean, how often does 11 and 12 even come up in math, if you think about it? It'll be fine. You know, if you really think about it, that really does conceptualize, you know, how stupid human leaders have always been. Because that was someone literally introduced to a counting system for naming things. And instead of overhauling the whole system to include their name in it, they just added their name and told everyone else to fucking deal with it. And from that point on, could you imagine if the numbers were still, like, natural to us? Like, if the months were named? if the months were named? Obama, Trump, 1, 2, 3. Obama, Trump, 1, 2, 3, Biden, 4, 7. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god. Oh shit. That's funny as hell. God, I never replaced the names with fucking names before. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I love it. Ah, yes, it is now Trumpuary. I love this time of year. Ah, so what's the first month? Trumpuary. What's the second month called? First month? You didn't want to rename that one? Well, we couldn't at that point. Trumpuary followed by first month. Now, the one I am actually always impressed by is how many of the weekdays maintained their like Scandinavian origins. Because what is it? Thor's Day, Freya's Day. So we have Monday. Yeah, Tyr's Day. Yeah, so we had Tyr, Volden, Thor, and Freya. All got kept. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday all kept their Scandinavian origins. It's fucking impressive. Good on them, you know? Pulling that off. I wonder if just like, did English not have names for the weekdays, you think? Was that just not the way they approach time? I wonder if anyone else did a... Wait, why are weeks a base 7? That's just the Bibble, right? What came first, organizing our weeks into 7 days or the release of the Bibble? Wait, but if it was the Bibble... Maybe the Scandinavians only organized it into 4 days? That'd be funny. Oh no, not bases again. Well, listen, this is the good way. This is actually the good way, I think, to initially approach bases. For example, weeks are organized into a base 7. There are 7 days in a week. So how many weeks are in a month? We would say 4, you know? So that's like saying 40, functionally. That should keep bases nice and simple conceptually. Base 52. God, I'm sorry, I hate when you get into bases that are larger than 16. There's a certain point where you're counting your bases where it's like, alright, why are we even flipping over to a new place at a certain stage? Ouch. Also, did you want to see my cat? Or nah, she's sleeping and hella cute. Well, if you want to share a picture of your cat on Discord, I'd be more than happy to take a look. Just saying. I see. Ah! Well, that lagged. It's in Gen Chat. Hell yeah. Since you ain't got a pet channel...
Oh, how common is a pet channel? Can't you just share your pet wherever? Put it in the art channel. That's what I think pets are. Pets are artwork. Prove me wrong. A work of art. Playing with a leaf blower. I like it. Okay. Well, if Nez likes it, I guess I'll just change the whole Discord. I guess the whole Discord stops for Nezco.
Come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch-ass motherfucker.
I'm adding it.
Piss.
I'm adding you a new text channel. Fine. If you're gonna give me 5 subs, I'll add a new text channel. Fucking pets. / Nezco. There you go. You've got a new channel. Under self-promo. Fuck you. 445. Goddamn. Yeah, goddamn, honestly. You need to do some work baiting other people on the channel to gift you subs, I think. That's my takeaway. Now, for those who are wondering why I'm not dynamiting these rocks, it's so I can conserve some level of battery power when I have to leave. Out of the hole, you see. Because otherwise, there could be a point where I have to straight jetpack all the way up, and I might burn my battery and basically be trapped. You're gonna use the pets channel? Alright, I'll go look at the cat. Cute. Look at him all cute, cause she hella cute. I'm not gonna pretend I don't appreciate the channel, but like, did you look at my cat? Though? I'm looking at your cat right now. Very cute. I'm too easily bribed. The fact that I was in the middle of jokingly yelling at you, you gifted me 5 gifted subs, and my only possible response was to make the exact channel you request. Such a pushover. I can't become famous. Could you imagine with that sort of fucking pliability? If I had fucking Judy's level of audience. Hey, here's $50. Add a new channel called Pee Pee Poo Poo to your Discord. $50? I mean, I guess I have to add Pee Pee Poo Poo to my Discord channel. Look, I'll buy you a beer at the next con you make, too. Why would you offer to buy me more that you've already bought? You bought 5 gifted subs. You don't need to buy me more things. Alright, if I added a new type of redeem that was called Pee Pee Poo Poo Channel, where I made a channel on Discord called Pee Pee Poo Poo, but I would private it after 24 hours so none of you could see it.
But you could gift me a sub to unprivate the pee pee poo poo text channel. Would any of you ever do that? Okay, I don't want to support you anymore. Understandable. Understandable, Nez. Have a good day. I hope you have a good weekend, my guy. I don't think I really looked into this hole. Well, that's a deep-ass hole. Yeah, could you imagine being the dude who has to refill this in between mole sacrifices? And you get the guy who does this to it. Fundamentally upsetting is what that would be. You're a fucking dude just out here tricking people into becoming mole sacrifices. You come in one day and it's like, what was this guy doing? He was just supposed to dig straight down. Why did he dig out all this dirt? Where'd he even put all this dirt? That's a lot of dirt. His house could fit in this hole. Get up Junie and tell her to cut you off? Cut me off? From what? What would Junie cut me off from? What, do you think Junie invites me to her cool famous people parties? I've never been to a cool famous person party. Alright. I don't know how much of this I got left in me, but if I can keep ranting, I can keep digging. That's basically where we're at. Wait, Inez, I'm trying to remember. You caught at least a part of Kindred kicking everyone's ass at Among Us, right? Like the collab I did recently? Nez is too good at Among Us. He fucking destroyed every round that he was the imposter. Conniving, evil creature he is. Yeah. Streams at such a different time than my normal schedule. And I don't think I ever really get a chance to check out his streams. I know he does predominantly art stuff too, so that's probably really cool to watch. I wonder if the jetpack actually goes all the way from the bottom to the top. You know what? I'm gonna see how much dynamite I can buy. Oh, there was a bit of lag there. But there's about to be a lot more lag. Alright, we doing this. Let's aim for a hole. Aim for that hole. Yeah, we'll just go crazy for it. Whoa, that's actually pretty cool looking. Hold on. Look at that. Look at the pattern the dynamite formed. Alright, there's something a little interesting in like that shaping. Because what it was basically formed pseudo-randomly based on how the dynamite's scattered, but it's a consistent size unless like two of them hit the exact same spot. That's interesting. Hey, Kelstra! Hi, welcome to a game about digging a hole. We beat the game a little too quickly, so I've decided to just sort of yap and clear cut the entire thing. How you doing, my guy? How's your weekend going? Mining a pit in the backyard. Exactly. See, you get it. Weekend's going well so far. How about yours? Going okay. Doing pretty chill. Mostly on wait right now, because this last week I had an important job interview I got through. So I'm mostly waiting to hear back from that one. And depending on how it goes, we'll see what happens next, you know? I'm really hopeful. And it'd be very interesting if I end up getting that job. Especially because I know most of chat will make fun of me once I tell them what it is. Alright, let's go. Look at the depths. And they called it a mine. A mine. Hopefully you get it, friend. Aw, thank you, Kelstra. You got any big plans coming up at all? Any games or events or anything you looking forward to? What brings you around today? Just trolling through the streamers? Ooh. Alright. That's all what we got. Recharge. Back into the hole. Here, guess what? Your cat woke up and did something even cuter. That's my guess. You son of a bitch. Fuck off. Stop that. No. God damn it. Nez, you literally just commented on how you've already gifted way too many subs at 445 total subs. You can't do that and then immediately give them. Fuck you. No, I refuse. I don't accept these. I don't know if Twitch has an actual system for me to not accept me. One second. Can I reject a gifted sub on Twitch? Yes, you can reject or disable. Oh, you can only disable it. Okay. That's not exactly what I meant, YouTube, but I appreciate the attempt. Alright. I just want my own genetically modified horse girl. I need my own Agnes Takyo. Motherfucker, you better don't. Oh. Nez, go watch my YouTube short. How about that? How about instead of gifting me subs, you go watch my YouTube shorts? I put a lot of time to make those. And to learn that you wanted to see me play RV There Yet and didn't even watch any of the shorts from the RV There Yet collab I did. Insulting. Upsetting. A lack of vim and vigor. If you want, I can dono and you can reject that. Homie, you didn't even ask me to reject your dono where you accidentally sent me $200 instead of 20. Alright, how we looking? Like, obviously I'm not really doing a clear cut, I'm more so just widening the dynamite hole. But I'm very curious how this looks from above now. Oof. Yeah, definitely don't have 4 seconds of fall time yet. A cute triangle is my favorite horse. I've been missing a lot. Shit ain't been swell, friendo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Ah, magma. Can't use magma rock. Is what it is. I'm just glad I can make it. I'm glad you can make it to streams too, my guy. You are always a delight and a bother. In equal measures. White rock. Wait, why is there white rock here? It's the wall? How have you been, Eric? I feel like I don't ask you enough. I feel like I've talked about how I've been. I had a job interview this week, still waiting to hear back about that. I made sandwiches today, and I still have more sandwich fixings to make more sandwiches with, and I'm probably just going to be making sandwiches because I forgot to thaw out my ground beef. But after that, I'm going to make some sloppy joe once the ground beef thaws. What kind of sandwiches? Rotisserie chicken, lettuce, and provolone. And Cheez-Its. Nice. For a little added crunch. Boo! Wait, what's boo about that? Listen. It's a boring sandwich. I will not deny boring. But I feel like that's a solid, standard, stereotypical sandwich right there. What's wrong with my fucking sandwich? Cheez-Its over Doritos? Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, Doritos are disgusting. I'm sorry. I want to add chips to my sandwich for a little bit of crunch. I want them to have minimal flavor. And Doritos do not do a good job of not being flavorful, is the generous thing I'll say about Doritos. Doritos are not a subtle, crunchy addition to my lunch meat sandwich. You don't like Doritos? Damn. I don't know. What? I think the only, like, chip flavor I fuck with is, like, is sour cream and onion. And I feel like that's more of a Lay's than a Doritos sort of flavor. It's also, again, a little on the softer side as far as, like, chip flavors go, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm crazy on that. I'm willing to be wrong on that one. But, like, sour cream and onion is a little on the chiller side, right? When it comes to chip flavor options. Alright, I'm gonna need those 450 subs back. Sorry, man. Most of that has gone to rent. I'm gonna warn Junie, you can't be trusted anymore. She already knows I can't be trusted. What do you mean warn her I can't be trusted anymore? Oh! Well. Oh, wait, we don't get our battery back. Yo-ho! Alright, let's recharge. And spam a bunch of grenades again. That was very fun. And Gwen. Listen, I think of all the streamers I've ever collabed with, I don't know if any of them have ever believed me to be trustworthy. But you'd probably have to ask Gwen on that. I don't know. Apparently she's volunteering to be my sister. Alright, now, who's seen today's short? I actually need to know. Today's short is one of the ones that had the funniest interactions with it, and it's not even directly because of the short. I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a time where Gwen came to visit in our chat, and she started talking mad shit at one point. And I brought up how it's the same energy she had in one of our shorts. And I pulled the short and started showing to her, and I realized while we were watching it at one point, I'm like, what the fuck is this energy? You're acting like my big sister. That she countered back, and I hadn't noticed it the whole time I'd been editing it, because she said it a bit softer than everything else. She responded with, if you want me to be. And I only realized it live on stream when I was playing it to embarrass her. Well, that short went live today, and it's just, I just find it very funny now that I fucking got her with that accidentally. Fucking ricocheted her right in the head. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, what? Yeah, you should watch my shorts, Nez. I'm hilarious. Yeah, we collab for RV There Yet, and then Among... You haven't been watching any of my streams this entire month, have you? And I mentioned at the beginning of today's stream, she invited me to just come in and crash her goddamn anniversary on Monday. I don't think you listen to me. I don't think you're a good listener, Nez. I think you're over there playing with an absolutely adorable cat and not listening to a word I say. How about this, Nez? How about that? Nez, what are you doing next Wednesday? Because if you think you can catch next Wednesday's stream, how about I reach out and get a collab with Gwen? Would that make you happy? Would you gift more subs to me if I did that? My bribe ability is massive and you know it. Work and night. You work at night. Okay. So would you be working now? Where'd all the dynamite go? I threw a ton of dynamite, right? Seeing some scatter explosion, but... Huh. Not as interesting of a shape forming. Nah, I'm usually sleeping right now. Ah, shit. Well, then how about this, Nez? I'll reach out and tell her you want to collab with her. And I'll tell Gwen specifically, oh yeah, one of my chatters, Nezco, said that if I wasn't going to play, to pass him the controller. Think that'd be a good intro for you, buddy? Nah, tell one of my chatters and my favorite mod said he wants to do a collab with you. Said he would do a dinner collab. Hey, I wonder if you want to do a collab stream. Oh yeah, what do you think? Dinner, you know? Maybe a couple of drinks, or... They said a collab stream. Yeah, we'll collaborate on having a nice meal together. You know, the hard mode is us having a nice conversation. There's a sequel. It's called Meeting Parents. Hey, Mom, Dad, could you help me out with this collab I planned? Hey guys, new collab next week. Oh god damn. Oh, that's funny as shit. Alright, y'all. I think that's what I got in me. So we're gonna recharge. We're gonna sell off recharge. And we're just gonna dig basically a second time all the way down to the moles. I wanna see if the moles actually like attack and kill me. Like what happens if I just let them get to me, you know? Do they really chase? Because it sounded like they were chasing, but I didn't turn around to actually check, you know? Wait, are we actually... How close are we? That looks like that's the mole home. Yeah, because we're getting diamonds. Alright, wait. Maybe then I can drill a hole directly up to my base. I can at least have one direct hole. Ah! Okay. Alright, chill. Chill out. Shine bright like a diamond. Think she'd go for it? Well, she does a lot of collab. I think she's doing an Among Us collab right now, in fact. You know, fun fact. So, I did the Among Us collab mostly because when we were collabing on RV There Yet, her and a couple of people who were streaming with us mentioned they'd be interested in doing an Among Us collab sometime. And I thought it'd be funny to do. But when I invited her, she was like, wait, you're doing an Among Us collab? I'm like, yeah. She's like, fuck, I'll have to buy the game. I was like, in our last stream together, you literally said you wanted to play this game again. Have you not played it before? She's like, yeah, but I only played it once, and that was someone else's account, so I don't actually own the game. So the only reason she even has the game right now is because of the collab. And that's funny as hell to me. That girl Goofy Ah. And I say ah because she says finna so fucking much. Ah. Do we have a direct line? There was something about falling for 4 seconds, I think. What? Not quite. Alright, so we're just gonna go get eaten by a mole. I think we're good. I wish to die. Oh god, she's a zoomer. She might be too young for me. I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah. Oh. I don't think I was eaten by a mole, game. I think I might have run up the mole's butt. They can definitely kill you, but do they chase? So I'm also just kind of trying to see if there's any, like, of those, like, detectable items left that I didn't find. So we found, what, 2 keys, 2 money bags, and 2 mine shafts, I think? It could be this dude just sort of did it all in groups of 2s, essentially. Alright, I'm gonna see if they chase. Chase me! Oh, they do chase. Hell yeah. Alright, y'all. With that, that is all the energy, time, and yap I've got in me. So I'm afraid that is where we're going to be calling it for today. And we did successfully beat the game, which is pretty fucking, I guess, pretty cool that we got. Did I hit an ore? Did I hit a floating ore and die? Oh yeah, that is a pretty deep hole. So I have filled my urge to dig a hole. So I want to wish you all a good evening, a good night, a good rest of your fucking weekends. And I hope to see you all again just as soon as possible. Take care and make sure you have a lot of fun, you guys. I'm going to send y'all off so that Nez can ask for his collaborative dinner date, I guess. And we'll see how he does, okay? So here is our raid target. Here is our raid message. And I'll see you all there. Remember, I love you all. So let's get ready to raid in 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go.